Hey, good evening, everybody. Sarasota Tim. Welcome to Evening Chat. So, what are we going to talk about tonight? Earlier today, I said maybe we'll get into the good old days. Well, if we're going to talk about the good old days, we got to talk about today and how far and how long it's been since the good old days. Like the good old days to a 30-year-old might be, back in the just recently to people like my age. I go back to the 70s. That's when I grew up. And man, I can recognize the 70s on TV. I can remember the 70s and the 80s when I was making my money and I was full of ambition and young and I was doing all I could do. And I had, I was all about just getting out there and getting it. And you talk about how the old days were. Think about how we were and how we thought. Not just how we looked because we were younger and things like that, but what our values were and how we went about everyday life. We weren't afraid of anything. In other words, gambling with life, going out and having a good time, throwing caution to the wind, whether it be our money or a job, different things. We were a little flakier. Not everybody, but we were. Hopefully, you're not as flaky now as you used to be when you were younger. That you're more mature and wiser, and you go at a slower pace. You think things through, and that's what I think about when I think about the old days. Is not just the stuff and the times. I think about how it was just yesterday, and I mean I can live it in my mind like that. I mean I was riding a 10-speed bike in Lake Worth, Florida. I went to Lake Worth High School, and we were hanging out at our buddies. One of us finally got a car and drove around. Most of us were riding bikes. We found a place we used to go and play pinball. That was like the thing. There was no such thing as computers, cell phones, not even a pager. So we would just kind of call each other from home. We did have telephones, or we would talk about, I guess what we would do is we would talk the day before or have a regular time that we kind of wandered around to a park or a place where we would kind of meet up, or we just simply ride our bike over to somebody's house. It's hard to remember now. It's been so long ago, but it was a very simple time in how we were able to still communicate and hang out together and share information of what we learned or what we heard about, or did you hear about this or that? Where today, look at it. Let me blow out this candle over here. We got us a candle going because I cooked that broccoli and that zucchini, and the camper was smelling like somebody cooked a lot of stuff in here. But like today, you get in your car or you got these cell phones, we got a laptop and all these social platforms, YouTube, and it's just so much information. And it's amazing how that would have overwhelmed us. If we would have went from like in the 70s when I was younger, and the next day or the next month turned into what we got going on now, we would know which way to turn. And we couldn't even imagine in them days of what they say on TV, the smart TVs. I mean, we had 3 channels. You had to get up and change the channel. Remote controls did come in pretty quickly. And then cable come along in the 80s, or I guess it was maybe the 70s too. Remember all those satellites we used to go through and used to get the dish? We thought we were like really modern. You got something that can point to the satellite and get TV unless it rained or cloudy or you had a tree in your yard. But it just really is astonishing as to the changes in 70s to the 2000 was 30 years. 55 years. So a half a century, which is a pretty good while. A lot of things changed. A lot of things. Now, can you imagine 50 years from today and how people will be talking about these were the old days? I mean, come on. I mean, really. We won't be here, me and those my age, in 50 years, but just think what might be, you know? I mean, crazy. So do you prefer the good old days? Do you like it when things were simpler? You weren't bombarded with so much information. We definitely didn't have that evil news media. We didn't have actually near the evil that we have. We've always had evil, but we didn't have the evil that we've got today. These terrorists and the wars that we've been in now, and the social media and Facebook, and just the way the politicians talk with each other and everything. It's really, and every day we're kind of aware of it. We're sort of in a time now where you're always shaking your head, like how people are and being, you know, disrespectful and not the way it used to be, especially if you're older. You're always shaking your head. I mean, every day you see something that's like the way people drive, talk, act, pretty much every way. And, you know, it would be directed more towards younger people, of course, because most people my age and the ones shaking their heads, you know, are from the same era. Some of them, though, changed and became the way the world is today. We've all changed. I've changed, of course. But I mean, I grew up in the South, and I was taught, yes ma'am, no ma'am. I have never lost my respect for elders or being appreciative of things. Now, I'm not saying I'm some golden boy, but I'm telling you, I mean, when people can't even say yes ma'am or no ma'am, maybe that's a Southern thing and the people in the North don't say that, but people need to show more respect today. So the good old days to me was more mannered. You know, you could leave your door open. You could go and talk to your neighbor, borrow a cup of sugar. People talk to each other more. Those were the good old days. I don't attend church now, but I used to go to church all my life growing up. And we used to go out on Wednesday night, was a Bible study night. Sunday was was everybody, and the hardcore went Wednesday nights. And then there was another night, I think it might have been Wednesday also, that we would go out calling on neighbors to invite them to church. I mean, can you imagine knocking on doors now and asking someone to come to your church? Oh, man. Church, they would say. God? Not everybody, but it's not, you know, politically correct today to talk about religion because so many people believe in different things or they don't believe at all. And that is the problem we're having in 2024. It's the lack of religion. It's the lack of God in our talk. But not to go down that road. Well, let's go back. So, what am I, 65, go back to when I was 25, 45 years ago would have been what year? All right, we're in, say 25 to make it easy. 15, 05, 95, 85. Yeah, the 80s. Yeah, I was in the car business. I had a company car, a demo. I was wearing a suit. I had blonde hair down to here, feathered, parted in the middle, feathered back. I'd blow dry it with hairspray. I wore a suit and tie, and I was a car salesman. And you'd come in and I'd sell you a car. That's what I was doing for 20 years almost, 17 years. And it was tough on my personal life because it was one of those businesses like being in the restaurant business. You live there. So you really never spent much time with your spouse if you had one, except, every couple of weeks you get a weekend off, or, a couple of evenings a week. But most of the time you were working 9 in the morning till 9 at night. It was a true prison job. That's why today I can't even imagine going to a place. I mean, I would if it was 20, 25 hours a week, but I could never imagine 40, 50 hours a week working for someone, 8 to 5, or doing that grind. I just can't even imagine it. So, and that part of the good old days, I'm glad is over. I like these days, as far as that goes, being retired, because, man, look how much of your life you spent at a job. That's, you went to school, then you went to work. A lot of your life was in a prison, in the education system, then your employer. And now I'm retired, and like a lot of people, and no more prison. We've been paroled. We can do what we want to do. Travel around the country, meet nice people. But we're dealing with issues. I'm still having a great time, but what are the issues today? Well, the issues are staying safe. I mean, you gotta keep your guard up. You got to carry your peace with you. You got to always be looking around, things that you didn't do in the old days. And I don't know what might happen in 48 hours, but somebody's going to be very, very happy, and some people are going to be very, very unhappy, depending on the results of the election in 48 hours. But it's really not 48 hours, right? Because with all the technology in the new days, we won't know. These counting machines, these computers can't tell us Tuesday night who won. That's what I understand. I wish it was, because I don't have to wait another 2 or 3 days. But it'll be interesting watching it. And what do you guys think? I mean, the latest I'm hearing from some people sending me some things on the internet. You can get anything and hear anything you want to hear. There's always something that you can hear if you want to hear it. But I've been hearing that Donald Trump is going to win by a landslide. I mean, the electoral votes are off the charts. So we can only hope, because I think it'll be a very jubilant time and a very, very happy time of celebration, and a new way where people will come out of the closet, as they say, and talk about Donald Trump and not be ashamed or afraid. If they see a country that's united, and that we have a country that is for Americans, for us, that we own it, and he's going to work for us instead of the other way around. I think when people start grasping that and seeing that, it's going to be a great time. And that's what I think God is bringing to fruition. I really do believe that he has been appointed to save this country. And so, but that's got nothing to do about the old days. That's the new days, bringing back the old days. And we can only hope. We can only hope. But now, what days do we have left? Let's see. I'm going to be 65, so that means I got 8 years left. The average age is only 73 for a male in the U.S. I got a friend of mine. He just makes a joke out of that all the time. It's so funny. He's 71. He talks about, well, I'm going to get this motorhome. It's only got to last me 2 years. He's got a great sense of humor. No, we all want to live to be 100, but we all realize that the quality of life, the aging is not, you can't stop it. You're just going to age, you're going to slow down. And we were just talking a minute ago, when we were young, I was riding around on a 10-speed bike. I probably put 100 miles a month on a 10-speed bike, just riding around town with my buddies. We went everywhere. And of course, we were all ripped. There wasn't an ounce of fat on us. We were young anyway, so. And we played outside. We did everything outside. We played all the sports. We went fishing. No video games. No reason to sit inside. no reason to go over to your buddy's house and sit inside. It was to go over and get your buddy and go somewhere outside and do something and get some other people, you know. So that part's really changed. Now people sit and talk to each other on a chat or on a text. And they don't even hang out together, you know, and just check in with multiple friends from all over the world, from all over the United States. And that's fine to be able to do that, you know, on occasion and FaceTime and those kinds of things with the technology. But, you know, visiting. Now, I've been to some RV parks, you know, recently, and I see people that really they're the old school type, a little older than me, and they see the same people returning every year from the north, from Canada or wherever, and they're back here in Florida, and they hang out with each other and sit outside. You know, they got their little setup outside their RV, and they're having a good time talking, reminiscing about what they did this past summer at home, and just enjoying time together, kind of still doing what we did in the old days. They really value, a lot of people older than me really do value these potluck dinners. A lot of the RV parks have around town, and condos that people get together and, you know, they go to the clubhouse, they go to what is that place called? If you're a veteran, you got these clubs you can go to. People go there and they drink and eat, you know, the veterans clubs and stuff like that. People even go to churches and do that kind of thing. But always trying to remember back in the old days, living their best life now, because they realize there's a lot less runway in front of us than we got behind us. So they're just enjoying their life. And that's what I'm doing right now. Before I get to the point where I just need to sit outside under my awning, get me an easy up, put a TV out there, and just sit around mostly every day and talking to my friends that come back from the north and, you know, enjoying a potluck dinner. I'm going to go out and meet people and still crush it because I'm not quite there yet. But I look back and I think just how quickly, you know, yesterday I was a punk kid. And all those different stages of life. And doesn't it happen fast, huh? They always told us when we were young, oh, don't worry, young man. You'll be old before you know it. And life goes by like that. You know, yeah. It's dragging for me. You know, I can't wait till I can drive, drink, do whatever, move out from my mom and dad's house, get married. Women might think about having kids and, you know, making money, all that kind of thing, getting a car, all that you want to rush. And then you do it. And before you know it, you look back and you're like, man, I've had multiple cars, multiple husbands and wives, multiple houses, multiple this. I've been through it all multiple times. It's like I've relived so many things. And I've got a little list going myself. But I got a new chapter going on now. And I want to talk about that briefly before I end the video. I hate to keep talking about, you know, my new truck and I'm going to go travel and all that kind of thing. I know a lot of you are excited for me and, you know, would like to watch the videos and see what I do along the way. And I hope to bring you some fun and be there vicariously with me. I hope to maybe see some of you along the way or repeat and visit some of the ones I met the last time. But I hate to, you know, talk about it all the time, but it's just what's going on with me right now. It's exciting. And so here's what I'm thinking about. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. I got a doctor appointment. You know, that was the thing last time. Remember when I was going to go across country? I got to go to the eye doctor. I got to go back to the eye doctor. He wants to see me, you know, and see me again and check the pressure. And it's all because of getting older and this eye thing. I mean, I did my drops tonight already. They're about half closed because I'm really tired. Sorry about that. My voice has been a problem for a month now. I don't know why, but it sounds like I'm yodeling. But what I want to do is get that truck hooked up to this thing and go, baby, go. And never look back. But that's not going to happen. I'm going to go and then turn right around and come back. I'm not going to stay overnight and come back. I'm going to stay a little while. But I'm really excited to find out if I can travel like that with ease, like driving a car. I know it's not quite the same, but I've always been envious of these people that say they have these diesel trucks and they blow my doors off going down the road. A regular, fleet side pickup, not a semi. And they're pulling these huge fifth wheels or these campers, and they're just motivating, man. They're just rolling. I don't want to go fast. I'm not saying that. I just want to feel confident. And now with my new truck that I've got that's got these trailer mirrors that extend way out, and I can see people coming, and I can change lanes confidently with the vision I'm going to have, and I can get around some people too. I can stay in the better lane that's not beat up by potholes that the trucks make, because I can go a little faster and not hold up traffic, and move over when I have to and that kind of thing. I'm really excited about to see, and if it does turn out to be all true, I'll just keep getting it. But if it turns out to be like, this is no different, no better, then I may not even go. I may turn around or just go somewhere, not too far, and eventually just return back here to home base and say, well, that didn't work out. I spent that money for that truck, and it wasn't any different than the Tundra. I could have still had that. But that's not going to be the case. You know it. I mean, I bought plenty of truck. I look at it and I say, it's parked outside, and I look at it and I look at this camper from the outside and I say, now we're talking. Now we're talking. That thing is so high and big, and the torque it has. She's going to pull her. She's going to pull her just fine. So what I'm going to do is see the doctor, and then I've got some things that I ordered that I must have before I leave, like a cover for the back so it doesn't get rained on, all the things that I'll put back there. And I'm getting the windows tinted on it. I want to I guess I'll never get 1,000 miles on it before leaving, so I'll just do the oil change along the way at a Ford dealer or at a Walmart, and do it like that. But anything can be done on the road that can be done here at home. But I need to get some things modified on it before I just take off. I had somebody tell me tonight there was a heck of a rainstorm on I-40 across the middle of the country, and that isn't anything I'm looking forward to. I remember the last trip I was in the Crasher here, pulling it with the Crusher, the original, and there were tornadoes and stuff being warned about, in the area. And I was like, trying to outrun it. And you couldn't. So I didn't know what to do. I couldn't sleep. I pulled over in this rest area in this truck stop or whatever, and I really couldn't sleep. I was thinking about the storms are coming, so I got up, started driving some more at night. I mean, it was very arduous. I was wearing myself out. I don't want to do that this time. I want to get the miles in. I need to get in. I want to stay at a Love's or at a campground. I don't care which, as long as the campground is right off the freeway and reasonably priced. And I want to hook up, use all the power and facilities that I get at a hookup, shower up, freshen up, and then reconnect and go. I don't even know if I need my weight distribution hitch because what I have now on the back of my truck, it's so high up, I need to get a drop down thing. Well, if I get a whole drop down piece, the piece I have has these things that those wheelbarrow bars go in for the weight distribution. And I know I need weight distribution. I don't have a truck so powerful I can just stick it on the ball and tow like I'm pulling a jet ski. So I am going to have to maybe spend some money at a trailer place and re-hook up. And that isn't cheap. I mean, just the receiver with the drop down in a ball, I saw them at U-Haul. $300. $300? So anyway, we're going to figure it all out, and I'll get the drop down thing. My trailer, the ball, right now level outside, the ball is 20 and a half inches. Help me out with this, please. The trailer is sitting level on its, right on the ground. I don't have the tires up on anything. 20 and a half inches is the front trailer hitch coupler. So how low or higher than that can my trailer ball hitch on my truck be? Right now, the ball on my truck, the way it sits, is 27 inches. And the camper is 20. It's over a half a foot higher. I would have to jack my camper up, way up, put it on the ball. I know there'll be some squat, but it's not going to come down to where it's going to be level. I'm going to be towing with the like I'm a space shuttle. And I want to be level with the trailer and the truck. So I'm wondering, does the ball need to be the same height and just, or a little, like an inch or two, and then bring the trailer up? I think that's what it should be. The ball would be maybe a couple of inches higher than my trailer. And then I can put the trailer on, that'll bring it down. But I don't think 7 inches high is going to be, especially on that stout suspension I got. So anyway, I'm going to run all that math and what I got going on at the trailer place. That's what they do, and they will get me hooked up. So if it means a whole new system, whatever it takes to be golden, whatever it takes to tow this thing properly, I will do. And so that's where I'm putting my money right now, and the tonneau cover. Tires and wheels and gimmicks and cosmetics and, doodads, that can wait. That can wait. So, but yeah, getting close to pulling the trigger. I figure, about 10 days would be to go and come back. So there's 10 days, and it's what's today's date? Tomorrow's the 4th. So if I left tomorrow morning and just went out there and back, I wouldn't be back to the 14th. And if I wanted to stay a couple of weeks, that would put me at the end of the month. And that's about as long as I need to stay, because I want to be back before it gets too cold coming across the country, any snow or anything. And I want to be back for Christmas. I want to be back here long before Christmas, a good 2 weeks before Christmas. So I can enjoy the holidays here in South Florida, all the lights at the mall area over there, and I'm going to get a tree, and I'm going to decorate. I'll try to get a mailbox so you guys can send cards and letters if you want. We can tape them up on the mantle and just have a little small tree and really kind of get into it and be home, So that's kind of like my plan. And that's long enough to stay out there, to play some golf and see some buddies and get back. And if I extended it to 3 weeks, that would be pushing it, because that's getting me really way too close to the Christmas time. So what do we got? 30 days from today would be the 4th of December. And if I want to be back 2 weeks before Christmas, that means by December 15th. And so that's 30 and 10, 40 days. 40 days to go and do all I want to do from right now. So going to the doctor, getting my windows tinted on the truck, waiting for a couple of mods to come from Amazon, get the trailer hitch and all that put together, prepare, check the tire pressures, not going to change oil in the truck right now, get everything together, and then I guess I'll be pulling out of here and crushing it.